Hi everyone, Danielle here. I'm doing a solo playthrough of Flame and Fang. This is a really neat kind of card game, but also kind of like tactical because you are traveling a little bit on these hexes. I will be using the Amethyst playmat, so that's why I have this really cool looking meeple out. And I guess I'll have it flat, although it might cover a little bit of the minion that got spawned. So during setup, I was following the story cards where it shows you the hexes that you would need to use to set up the game. So on the left side, it defines that this will be the cave, and on the right, it says it should be the fortress. And then the ones that you see the background on, you will shuffle the remaining hex tiles, and then you'll place them out randomly, but face up. And then the tile that has this icon is where all of the dragons would start. And then you would just follow any other setup information here, which says place 4 books on each player board. I guess officially they are called quest tokens. And then on this page, you would look at the player count. We're playing solo, so it says add 1 minion. And so you'll go ahead and add that 1 minion from the minion deck, and I have that right here. So I shuffled it up. I put this one face up. The minion we have is the Stalker, and it actually tells you where it goes, so that's why it is on the cave. And then we'll go over the rest of this card throughout this video. But yeah, this is what the current minion is, and hopefully we won't be on this specific hex, or we'll defeat the minion on our turn. And then the rest of the setup says add 5 event cards and then flip this card. So I've done a little deck of 5 event cards up here. And so that is what I've done there. And then there's a bit of a story now, so I'll go ahead and read it. With the bravery that only starvation can kindle, you set forth. And then on this page, it says action phase. Each time a dragon defeats a minion, resolves a growth action to gain an upgrade card, or passes their turn while on the fortress, remove 1 quest token from their player board if able. And the goal is that if no quest tokens remain on any player boards, you can flip this card at any time. And it says, warning, be ready to fight. So that means something bad could be coming, and we'll want to be prepared to fight. And just a little, I guess, overview as to some of what the tokens are. We have some food, so that's what these are, the resource tokens. Some food, and we have some coins and crystals. So we'll be gaining those throughout our turns. We also do start with 4 life, and I will kind of go down here to show you that you do have a specific deck. I'm using Amethyst, so I've got all of the cards that has this icon, which is my Amethyst, and you place out your 4 life cards like this, and if you ever go down all the way to 0, then unfortunately you are no longer alive. And then you'll have the remaining cards here. You'll shuffle them, and you'll put them in the deck and discard side of your player mat. On the right hand side, you'll be able to prep cards, so we'll go more into depth on that. And then above your player mat, you'll have your play area. So my cards might overlap the tile here, but it should be okay. And then you'll also have this little clear disc, which you'll use to cover up the aspect that you decide to use on your turn. You'll notice that there are 3 aspects. There's fight, flight, and hunt. So you could choose any of those 3 on your turn, and then you'll have to just remind yourself by using this marker, placing it on top of the one you choose, and then that will decide the cards that you use on your turn, because you can only use cards of that aspect unless you know, an ability says otherwise. And I do have my 4 books here on my mat, or quest tokens. Over here you can use the, I guess it's called the Dragon Hoard section of your board to store 3 items. And then there's a additional space for an item here on the wildlife. So there is a symbol for kind of like a wild aspect, and that's what that symbol means. So that actually will qualify for any of the aspects if you had that in your hand. I do have the electronic rulebook up here, so I will be utilizing it during my playthrough. This is my first playthrough of the game, so I do anticipate some mistakes. Even if it wasn't my first playthrough, I always anticipate some sort of probably gameplay inaccuracy, so feel free to point them out if you've noticed it. Otherwise, this will just really be a casual playthrough of me giving it all a try. Alright, so we'll start the game. I'll draw 6 cards into my starting hand. Okay, and when you draw your starting hand, you actually get to discard up to 2 of these cards into a discard pile and draw an equal number of replacement cards. And then these will be your starting hand. You'll only be able to do this when you start the game. So, you know, knowing that when you choose an aspect to play, you'll have to only play those cards with those aspects on your turn and no other aspects unless an ability says otherwise. One moment. Apologies for any background noise. So currently I do have 1 wild card, 2 flight, 2 hunt, and 1 fight. So I'm going to probably discard definitely one of these. And this is tough, but I don't think it really matters. I'll just discard this hunt and then I'll draw 2 more cards. Yes, okay. I think that was a good decision. Awesome. So, I mean, looking at the aspects right now, I'll pretty much be able to play all of these cards except this 1 card because I'm going to choose flight as my aspect for this round. Okay, so on your turn, you're going to do a bunch of different things, and hopefully I do explain it well enough. So we have this grow card. It says resolve a growth action or refresh the upgrade path. So growing cards is interesting. It means you're basically replacing cards or adding cards. I'm sorry, adding cards into your deck. So on the left side here, it's kind of cut off, but there's 4 cards that you can look at in terms of the upgrade row. So just as an example, here's 1. This card will basically be made available to you in your deck, and you'll be able to use it moving forward. But then the cost is actually on the bottom, and that requires any 1 resource. And some of them requires 4, so there's quite a variety of different cards you can gain. I'm not sure I'm going to use any grow actions this time. We might want to prep one of those cards. I think I'll go ahead and do well, I'm not going to do a seize because we can't do hunts. So instead, I'll do a lunge. And this lunge basically says move to an adjacent hex. And then what I could also do is pay a resource or discard a card. And when you discard a card, you have to discard a card that matches the aspect for the round, which is currently flight. And then you could also do an attack. So I might do that and do one attack there. So I'm going to do a lunge. So I'll put that in my play area. I'll discard a grow card so that I could do an attack as well, and you could decide which order you want to do it in. And in that case, I will attack before I move. So I will do 1 damage. So that's 1 damage onto this minion. It requires 3 to be defeated. And then I'm going to move. So I'll move to the forest. And then I will do a roam, and I'll discard another roam card. Actually, yeah, that's fine. I'll discard a roam card, and then that means when I move, I can gain one of these resources when I move. So I'll go ahead and move to this outpost, and I'll gain a coin. I'll put that on my little slot in the dragon horde. And I think that's all I would like to do this turn. Trying to think. If I wanted to grow, I do have one resource now to do that. And when I do that, I basically choose an upgrade action card from the upgrade path and gain an action card into my hand or prep area. Okay. I had to replace it. Neither the new card nor the replaced card needs to match their current aspect. Oh, interesting. Okay. Huh. I think I'll go ahead and do that. I'll play this grow card. I'll resolve a growth action. And I'll spend one of these to upgrade into swipe. And I guess I'll replace this seize card. So I'm just going to set the seize card aside, and this is now going to be in my hand, I guess. And I can play it later this phase. But I don't think I will, because I chose flight, and this is a hunt aspect. Okay, so next, I think normally I could decide to prep a card, but I'm not going to be able to because this is a hunt card and I am doing the flight aspect. So just to give you more information, basically when you pass, you can resolve the prepping or discarding and clear and drawing steps. So prepping means each player can optionally do one of the following. Take one action card from my hand that matches a chosen aspect for the round and place it into the prep area, which is again to the right of my board. I could always spend a coin to change a card's aspect to prep it, by the way. I don't have any coins, but I could do that. Or I could discard any one action card, regardless of aspect from my hand. So I could discard this card, but I think I'll keep it. Okay? And so I'll go to the clearing and drawing step. And in this case, it says if magic tokens have been unlocked, which I don't believe any have, the player also discards all magic tokens from the play area. So that doesn't apply right now. And then it says draw cards until they reach maximum hand size, which is 6. So I'll draw 5 cards. Okay, so we got quite a bit of hunt, a fight I mean, which is this aspect. So maybe we'll do that next turn and target a minion. Okay, so now that we're done with the player turn, there is a minion phase. So during this phase, minions attack dragons if they are on the same tile. So luckily I moved, because I would have been attacked, and it would have been attacked for 2 damage it looks like. So I would have had to remove life equal to 2, which would not be good. But anyway, that's not happening right now. So we'll move on from the minion phase and we'll go on to the boss phase, but there is no boss, so I think we're good to just move on to the event phase. So the event phase means we draw the top card of the event deck. So go ahead and do that. Okay, so this says the spirits bring new life to the forest. And basically, if we were 3 or 4 players, this says place a coin on forest 2, but we don't do that for solo. And then it says add 1 minion. Okay, so that's what that event says. We'll add a minion. Okay, this is a support card, and it will go on the fortress. And this says it can't be defeated if there is a non-support minion at this location. Okay. So fortress is here, and looking at this actually does have something. It says end of minion phase. The stalker moves one towards nearest dragon, so it's going to go onto the outpost. Okay, so definitely need to read those cards, and then now we go through the cleanup phase. So that means all the stun tokens are removed. Then you resolve any cleanup phase effects on cards, and then normally you'd pass the leader token, which is kind of like the player, the first player token, and then you'll start a new game. So yeah, I think that pretty much explains how that works. Let's look at my hand. And we will move our aspect marker to the fight and just focus on using these three, and I will definitely try to take out this minion. I'm going to use a swipe. Actually, I need to put these cards in the discard. I need to do that. Okay, so I will use a swipe and do 1 damage. So now it has 2, it needs 1 more. I'll do a swoop, and that will finish off that minion. And you gain rewards when you do so. So when I finish off the minion, I get whatever is on the left side, which says 2 coins. So I'll go ahead and gain 2 coins. And I've put it on my dragon horde. Okay, so I have 1 more fight card I could use. So this, I don't think I can reach this fortress to do the 1 attack that it needs to die, but I could still play this. And oh no, I can't, because I was gonna do this gather action, which I would be able to gather a gold, but I don't have anything to allow for that. Okay, so maybe I'll spend a gold to change an aspect of a card I'm playing. So, because I think I can. If I spend gold, because I believe I read that earlier before. Yeah. So gold may be spent to change a card's aspect and prep it. Does that mean I could do it during my turn too, though? Yeah, so I think I can. So I'll use a coin here, and I will convert this this lunge into a fight, and then I will also convert this stalk into a fight, and then I'll be able to use the bottom action. So oh, you know what? When I moved from the cave to this outpost and there was a minion there, I needed to take a damage. So let me do that. So I'll take a damage. So I'll go. So when I take a damage, I think it goes into my discard. Let me just see. So life cards. Life cards may be played. Okay. Yeah, they are discarded, so they are in my pile. Okay. So yeah, I've done that just to make sure everything's good. Also, I did defeat a minion, so I removed 1 quest token. And then I did resolve a growth action, so that removes one more. Gotta keep track of my goals here. So yeah, I'm going to move one, but then I paid extra for this. I don't think I needed to. So let me take that card back into my hand, the stock card. I don't think I can attack at this time anyway. So let's just do that. So I'll move the one, and then I'll play this, and now I'll change that stock card into a fight, and then I'll gather, and I'll gather a crystal here. And I think that's all I can do. Okay, so I'll discard these cards. And I'm going to keep this into my hand and draw. I'll shuffle my deck. And continue drawing up to 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have the minion. So nothing happens here with that minion. There's no boss. We'll just go to the event. And basically also when the event deck runs out, we'll lose the game. So we have to reach this goal quickly. Alright, so we have minion strike from the shadows. For one player, it doesn't matter. We don't have to do this. The dragon closest to a minion suffers. What does that icon say? It's a condition. So you draw a condition from the condition deck, which is here, I think. And then anyway, we add a minion. So we'll go ahead and add a minion. This is a defender. This will go on forest number 3. Okay, that's where it goes. I don't think there's much to do for the cleanup, so we'll go ahead and continue our turn. So we have a pretty good split of cards. We have the hunt, and we have some fight cards. So I do think we want to try to fight though, so that would be good if we did hunt. So let's go ahead and do I'm sorry, we'll do fight. We'll do fight. And let's focus on trying to move into the forest 3. So I'll play swoop. I'll spend this dragon stone. That's what this is. This is a dragon stone, which you could spend to boost a played action card, which I'll boost this. So I can move adjacent. I'll move into the forest 3, and I'll do 1 damage to defender. And then I will play swoop and do 1 more damage. I'm not going to boost it. And that will defeat it completely. And I will gain a meat. So that's what the reward is on the left. Okay. And meat allows me to draw a card. So if I wanted to, I could spend it to draw a card. But anyway, I get to remove 1 of my quest tokens because I defeated a minion. Alright, so I'm going to play, I think I'll prep this card actually and call it a day. Now end my turn. Okay, so I've done that, and then I'm going to do the minion phase. Nothing happens with that. We'll just go straight to the event phase. Okay, it says minions strike from the shadows. We'll add a minion. This is a dwarf, and it goes on to mountain 1, which is right next to me. Very convenient. Oh, I need to draw to my hand, so I need to draw 3 cards. Alright. Okay, so that's the event. We'll do the cleanup, which, you know, isn't too much right now. And we will proceed with our aspect choice, and I will do hunt this time. So going to do hunt, and I'll use, I'll resolve a growth action. I'll do that immediately. And I'll spend 1 resource, and actually need to draw 1 more to replace the one I took. So I'll spend 1 resource and take this card and replace, I'll replace this stock. And so this is now in my hand. And I will go ahead and remove my final quest token, which means the goal says if no quest tokens on any player boards, you may flip this card at any time. I think maybe we'll try to fight this if we could. Which I don't think we can because I'm not sure I can do another action. Yeah, I don't have any coins to utilize bite to do an attack because this needs 2 to die. So at any time I could flip this. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. I'll go ahead and flip this card. And actually the prepping I could also use, but if the aspect matches. And this is a fight one, so I can't. But anyway, yeah, I'll go ahead and flip this card and see what happens. It says, you have gathered enough to survive, but your hunt has attracted unwanted attention. A large squad of warriors charges from the enemy's stronghold, led by a powerful captain. You band together to defend yourselves. What choice do you have? Oh boy, add 2 event cards. Okay, so add 2 event cards. Place the boss figure on the same tile as the dragon nearest the fortress. So there's only 1 dragon, which is mine, and this is the epic looking boss meeple. So we've got the boss out right now. And it says flip this card. It says guard captain. And this says this has 0-1 range and has 5 defense. Before attacking, the boss figure moves up to 1 tile to be at range 0-1 from as many dragons as possible, preferring a tile with no dragons if able. When defeated, flip this card. Okay. So, interesting. We want to try to defeat that. I don't know if we'll be able to, because we don't have a lot of attack cards. So maybe we better try to get some resources, but we'll have to take a damage if we leave that tile with an enemy on it. So my only options are stalk and seize, and then I'll end up having to take yeah, I'm gonna have to take damage if I want to move. So I guess no matter what, I'm taking damage, right? So maybe I'll stay and I'll just play a gather and gain a meat. And then I'll do a stalk and gain another meat. And what I could do is trade these in to draw. But I think I'd rather wait until I have a larger hand to manipulate. I don't know if that's the best idea though. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Okay. And so I'm going to pass, and I can't prep any cards, but I could discard any card, and I'm going to discard this lunge, and I'll draw back up. Oh man, okay. I guess the lunge would have been somewhat helpful, but I did draw 4 cards, which is fine. Okay. So I guess now we'll go through the minion phase. Nothing really ends up triggering because I'm not on any tiles with the minion. Now we go through the boss phase. They will attack, so I have to take 1 damage, and I'll take it with this one. It goes into my discard. And yeah, oh, it's gonna move first, so I guess it'll just move here, I guess. Put that there. because it says before attacking, the boss figure moves up to 1 tile to be at 0 to 1 from as many dragons as possible, preferring a tile with no dragons if able. So I guess I choose. Maybe I'll choose the forest in case I want to go up here for a coin. Okay, and then it would have attacked me because I'm within range for 1 attack. Alright, so that's that, and then we'll do the event phase. It says a new vein of Dragonstone has been discovered. Add a minion. Okay, we have a militia. It goes on the outpost. Where's the outpost? Here. Great. I'm basically surrounded by enemies. Okay, so this time my aspect will be flight. And I'll go ahead and probably... we need to draw one more of these upgrades. Okay, so... Flame Strike sounds good, but I need 2 more. Yeah, I'm like on the brink of death. This is not easy. I'm probably just not optimizing my turns either. You know, maybe I will use my meat and draw a card. That doesn't help. Because I chose flight. Okay, so I'll just play a roam. And I'm going to discard this grow card so that I could boost the card and use this action, and I'll gather a meat. And then I get to move to an adjacent location. I'll move here. And I will play this lunge. And I'll go ahead and discard this roam so that I can go onto this outpost and do 1 damage to that, which is probably not the best idea because then it's gonna attack me and I can't do anything else. I guess I'll draw a card. I'll spend a meat and draw a card, and I gain a life. I'll play that. Could I play that immediately? Even if it doesn't match? Let me see. So life cards, in the player's hand, maybe play on the player's turn just like any other action. If it has to match still. Ooh, okay. So that's unfortunate. Wait, I think I'm probably gonna lose because I did that. But anyway, well, I'll play it out. I'll play it out. Okay, and then I'll just draw 1 more card, which means I have to shuffle my deck. Maybe I chose the wrong aspect this turn. I'll have to try again, I think. Restart this and try again. Not gonna win this time, but this was a good first game, I feel. I really like it. Alright, so we'll draw that card. Ooh, it is a flight card. But not too helpful. I can move out and take 1 hit. Possibly. Gosh, I wish I had just 1 more way to... Yeah, I don't think there's any hope for me, so we'll just play this out. I will just move. I'll use lunge and move up here, and that'll be my turn. I have to just draw up 2. And now will be the minion phase. And then when the minion phase happens, minions will attack. Oh wait, I have to discard a life because I left a space, so I'll discard this life. I left a space with an enemy. And now minions won't really do much, but now will be the boss phase, and they will do its ability. So before attacking, this will move up. And it's going to go probably here, and then they'll do the final damage to me. Okay. So my first impressions after this game is it's very, very smooth. It isn't too complex when you take your turn. I think there's a lot of decision making to be made on which aspects you play, and how you manage your resources and your hand. I think it's tight. And obviously there was probably a series of not too good decisions that led me to this point, but still a good time. I like this tactical aspect where you have to, be aware of where you are, maybe what resources I should have tried to gather first before flipping the card. Even if my quest tokens were already gone, I could have just continued and gathered more resources. So that's something I'll do in my next try. But very neat. I like it. I like the story cards as well. The progression is nice. I also like that you're bettering your deck by upgrading your cards. So obviously I removed 2 cards here, so that means there are 2 upgraded cards in here. When I restart this chapter, I'm going to remove the upgraded cards and just kind of like start fresh. I also like the idea of the minions. There's kind of like, the events are very interesting. And depending on player count, kind of also changes things for you too. So I think this is probably the right level of difficulty for me. There are ways to make it easier, and maybe I'll do that just to make sure I progress in the story. But basically, some ways you can make the game easier is that you start with 2 meat and add an extra event to the event deck, and that typically means you just have an extra round, right? Because once the event deck runs out, you lose the game. There's also an easiest mode, I guess. So it says at the start of the game, each player resolves a free growth action. So immediately, you don't have to pay for these cards. You just swap in one of these upgraded cards into your deck, and then you also add 2 event cards to the event deck. And then you can always make the game harder as well. So there's plenty of levels here to match your I guess how advanced you play these types of games. And what's interesting is that there's also content you can unlock, which is neat. So yeah, I'm very, very excited to play this a little bit more. I'm actually not sure, because there's 3 other dragons you can choose from. I don't know if the decks are different. I have to see. It might be interesting if it is different. But anyway, regardless, let me know what you guys think of Flame and Fang. So far, I really like it. As a solo player, this just felt really smooth. There really is no AI to deal with. It really is just part of the co-op experience of managing the event deck and the story deck. So I really like it. So kudos to the designers here. So if you're familiar with One Stop Co-op Shop, they did help. They did co-design it. So over here, you'll see it's by Peter Kusis and Michael Kelly. And yeah, so far so good. Alright, if you're interested to see more playthroughs of this game, let me know. I'd be happy to record one or 2 more sessions, although it might not be in order, I guess. It might just be where I'm at in the story. And yeah, make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss out on it. Otherwise, I hope you guys are having an awesome day, and happy gaming. Bye.